We've all been there, right? You're at an event trying to make small talk, or you have to introduce yourself, or maybe you're in a meeting and suddenly everyone's looking at you, asking, "So, what do you think?" The thing is, most of our communication happens just like that, in the moment, and it can be, well, pretty tough. But what if you could actually turn that pressure into confidence? Today, we're going to break down a really powerful framework from Stanford that's designed to help you do exactly that. Oh, that feeling. Your mind just goes completely blank, your heart starts pounding, it's so awkward and uncomfortable. But here's the thing, it happens to everyone. And the big secret? Speaking well on the fly isn't some kind of magic trick. It's a skill. And just like any skill, it's something you can absolutely learn. It all starts with training your brain to notice the little details that are right there in front of you.
So, let's try a quick little puzzle. Take a good look at this sentence on the slide. All I want you to do is count how many times you see the letter F. Simple enough, right? I'll give you just 3 seconds. Ready? Go.
So how'd you do? The correct answer is 6. Now, if you only found 3, you are in good company. See, most people's brains are wired to process words by how they sound, and we totally gloss over little functional words like of. And this is the perfect illustration of our main idea today. To communicate better, we have to stop skipping over the important stuff and really start seeing what's there.
Now, what we're about to go through isn't just a bunch of random tips. This is a structured 6-step framework that was actually developed at Stanford to help their MBA students handle those super high-pressure, cold call moments. It's literally designed to take you from that feeling of anxiety to a place of confident, decisive action.
So here it is, the entire 6-step framework. We're going to focus on the core principles, which really fall into 2 big areas. First, we're going to tackle your mindset. That's the internal game, managing your nerves and changing how you think about these situations. And then we'll shift to your messaging, the external game of actually crafting what you say.
Look, it all starts with what's going on inside your own head. It just does. Before you can speak clearly to anyone else, you've got to get right with yourself. This first part is all about taming that inner critic and learning how to turn fear into a tool you can actually use.
Okay, so what's really interesting about anxiety is that you have to fight it on 2 different fronts. On one side, you've got the symptoms. That's the physical stuff your body does, like the sweaty palms, the racing heart. But on the other side, you have the sources. That's the root cause, like being terrified you're going to bomb a job interview. You have to manage both if you want to be effective. So how do you handle those physical symptoms right in the moment? Well, here are 3 super simple but incredibly effective techniques. First, take a deep belly breath. The key is to make your exhale twice as long as your inhale. That physically calms your nervous system down. If your mouth gets dry, sip some warm water. And if you feel yourself blushing or getting hot, just holding something cold, like a bottle of water, can actually cool your whole body down.
Okay, now let's talk about the source of that anxiety. The biggest insight here, we are almost always our own worst enemy. Think of your brain like a computer. When you have way too many apps open, you're judging yourself, you're evaluating, you're critiquing every single thing you're about to say, your whole system just slows down. You've got to close some of those apps.
And this leads us to a really counterintuitive idea. Are you ready for this? Give yourself permission to be mediocre. I know, that sounds insane, right? But think about it. When you lower the pressure to be absolutely perfect, to have the best answer or be the most witty, you free up so much mental energy. And that freedom, that's what actually lets you do great work.
And finally, let's talk about reframing these situations from being a threat to being an opportunity. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," just add one little word, "I can't do this yet." When you're working with others, don't shoot down ideas. Use that classic improv rule of yes and to build on them. If you mess up, don't get stuck on it. Think like an athlete. Next play. And start seeing your mistakes not as failures, but as missed takes, like in a movie. It's just a chance to try it again. All right, so once you've got your internal mindset sorted out, it's time to focus on the external part, what you actually say. How do you take all those thoughts swirling around in your head and turn them into a clear, concise, and impactful message right on the spot? The secret is structure. Your brain loves structure. It doesn't do well with random lists. And this is one of the best structures out there. What, so what, now what? You start with the what. That's your main idea. Then the so what, why does this even matter to the person you're talking to? And you finish with the now what. What's the next step? For example, what? We should switch to the new software. So what? It'll save our team 5 hours a week. Now what? I'll schedule a demo for us this Friday. See? It's like a simple little recipe for instant clarity.
And the final principle for your message, which touches on that sixth step in our framework, is to be focused. We have this tendency to want to take our audience on this long, rambling journey of how we got to our conclusion, because we want to show them we did the work. But here's the thing. Your audience doesn't need to see you build the clock. They just want to know what time it is. Be concise. Get to the point.
So, we've covered the whole framework, from your mindset to your message. But knowing the steps is one thing. Mastering them is something else entirely. This isn't some one-and-done fix. It's a journey, and it's going to require some deliberate practice.
When it comes down to it, real improvement comes from a simple but really powerful loop of these three things. Repetition. You have to actually practice speaking, especially in low-stakes situations. Reflection. After a conversation, just take a minute to think about what went well and what you might do differently next time. And finally, feedback. Ask friends or mentors you trust for their honest thoughts. That's the loop. That's what builds real skill.
And listen, this isn't about some big, scary presentation. Your next chance to practice could be as simple as making a little small talk with the barista at the coffee shop, or giving a friend some thoughtful feedback, or just answering a question in your next team meeting. So, what's it going to be? The path to mastering spontaneous speaking, it really starts with that very next small step you decide to take.